Let's cross joint. Going out live. Any questions? So, the reason why I'm going on live today has nothing to do with just in general. Somebody called me up, very frantic, a parent, father, and explained to me a certain situation with the child or the son or daughter. I'm not going to say anything else, but I'm just going to put it out as when it has to do with relationship, and you're over 30 years old or 40 years old, or in between, or 20 to 30, 40. I don't get involved with my kids' relationship if it needs to be that I could guide them and give them a sense of good advice, which will not tear them apart. Hence, by all means, that's the only way that you could drive a relationship, because if they get together and then join up back again, well, guess what? The one that gave the bad relationship advice and to leave will be the person that will be very disliked, even by the other person, even by the son or the daughter, because that's how they forget sometimes who is there for them. Love is blind sometimes, even when you're a parent. So here's my take on if your child or your son, your adult son or your adult daughter's doing things that shouldn't be doing, being in 3 relationships at the same time or 2 relationships at the same time. Primarily, that's more for a man thing. So I'm going to hit the man thing. Usually the woman, maybe, it's a very low percentage. A woman is actually smarter than the man when it comes down to that. They really realize, their self-worth and self-value. Men have an issue, because we think that having more women is gonna, your boys are gonna pat you in the back. I'm gonna go back to this. Give yourself some self-worth, because the problem is the more you don't give yourself self-worth, the good woman, I call them the 9s and 10s, and we're not talking about that they are just beautiful. No, the 9 and 10 to me is a woman that has the whole package. She's got her beauty. She has her honor, respect, loyalty. When you're not around, she is, in her best, even in her best behavior than when she's with you. She's not looking for attention. Attention to me is totally something different. She's on a spiritual realm. She's like more looking for friends to talk about, the gossip and all that, she's looking not to, where's the next party at? So like that, there's other men. So to me, a woman that's 10 is totally a different thing, because if it's the opposite of that, that means that everybody can have her. So what's the use? The same thing with a man. If you want to attract that type of relationship that you have, that you want with a woman that's going to be loyal to you, that a woman's going to be all that to you, you got to put that shit out first. You got to put that shit out first. You want a woman that's loyal? You be loyal, brother. If you're the young man that's playing 3 fields at the same time, then don't boast that you have that, because what's going to happen is the good woman is going to look at you and say, well, that's all he's good for. There's 3 things, that a man needs, right? The car, the watch, the job, and the zip codes to be noticed. Okay, that's called a peacock. What happens to your inside? You need loyalty, honor. When your woman's not around, where you at, what you're doing. And then the third thing is, do you have compassion for that person? Do you have empathy for that person that you're with? Do you understand your rules and regulations? Don't ask for love if you're not really giving out the love. And I'm talking to you men, because the thing is, one man, two men, three men, all of a sudden there's a bunch. And then, men are dogs. Women is going to fall out of the, we're not doing any better. We're not doing any better. If we're dogs, it's because we're loyal. You understand? But in reality, a dog doesn't know better. He goes and cheats and grabs another one and another one because his thing is about procreation. You're not a fucking animal. You're either a gentleman or a dog. Present yourself that way. And I guarantee you're gonna have women trying to get to know you, for the reason being is if you're real or not, if the truth is real or not. If you're that kind of spiritual man, that you know how to respect her energy, you know how to respect her time, you know how to respect things, and obviously respect yourself, because dignity and respect goes a long way with them. And being honorable and being very humble opens up more doors to every single way you want to be. And getting back, a parent cannot, change what is already made. You only have until the age of 14 or 15 years old, and your job is pretty much clearly done. This kid knows how to feed himself. Even if you put the plate of food, he'll get up and get some more food for himself or for herself. Now, as far as their hormones, listen, when you get to 30, 35, woman's peak is at 36, 37, or 35. If she had a lot of promiscuity and a lot of, sexual appetite, blah, 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 they pretty much at 30, 31, 32, 33, there it goes down. So just in case, boys, you think that, my girl's, getting older and that older woman wants more of me. No, she's just having a good time with you, and to the point where if you're not manning up, then you're out. You're going to be out. My point at the end of this life is going to be pretty much is probably going to be very short. Anybody has a question, by all means, pop in the questions or DM me questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I am very happy that parent called me, because I haven't heard from that parent in a long time. But some things are just not demons. Some things are just not spiritual. Some things are just nothing else but dignity in your hormones, and you don't know how to control yourself. And that person that's doing it is probably most of the time hurt, can't trust nobody, is under other influence. It's not that there's the demon could be there, but he's not actually cannot do nothing unless you accept that. As a human being, you are accepting. You're saying it's okay to do that. And if you know you're right and wrong, and you don't like, if you had a child or you have a cousin, a niece, you have an aunt, you have a mother, and you don't want nobody to cheat on her or hurt her or treat her like garbage, or talk to her like she's the scum of the earth, and you don't want that application to them, then don't give it. Because there will become, like I tell people, there's karma. People not understanding this concept. As you get more spiritual, you start understanding that karma is a gangster. It doesn't matter what time. It doesn't have a time. It can happen to you in the middle of the night. It can happen to you with a cousin, a loved one, something that you love the most, and it'll put you through hell until you get to the point that you're going to learn the lesson in itself. Here's my other thing. If the woman allows the man to have more than one woman, or, you have to have that dignity for yourself. For yourself. If you're letting him come home at 2 o'clock in the morning, but you're not the woman that comes home at 2 o'clock in the morning, then it's on your rules, it's on your regulation. And especially when you're paying your rent, you're letting that happen for what? Ask yourself, what is it about this human being that I really, really love? And is it worth me having these heart attacks or these pains to wait for this person to realize that, when you have the rest of your life to realize that? Is that person going to realize how much I love him or her, that they're going to, be out and about and just walk out like nothing, and then come back smelling like somebody else's perfume, or you understand, or with a hickey, or with another underwear in the car. You understand? You have to have more dignity than that. You have, the last thing that's been taken away from you cannot be your dignity. Cannot be your dignity. You have to have the dignity to say, you know what? For more that I love you, it stops here. I don't have to take this. I didn't sign. You don't sign up a marriage, or you don't sign up to be a fiance. You don't sign up to be a girlfriend. You don't sign up to be anything else but a beautiful human being on this earth, that person said that they love you. And words and action, they have to mix. You can't just say, well, I love you all day long, but you're not putting the action. If you put both actions, you'll get back a reaction. And a positive as that. But what I'm looking at is on this phone call that I got, 2-hour phone call. That's amazing. And I'm arguing with the parent. It's not witchcraft. It's not demons. It's not this, that. You have the capability of saying no. You have the capability of saying, you know what? I'm hurting people. You have the capability of saying, I can't do this anymore. Because I have daughters. I have sisters. I have a mother. I have to love myself before I keep on continuing doing this shit. You understand? It doesn't matter what color eyes you got. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. It doesn't matter how much cars you have, how little money, or how much money you have. When you're just ugly inside, it's going to pour out. That woman's going to fucking be... You ever been with a person that you love so much that all of a sudden that person starts becoming your nightmare, and then all of a sudden you start remembering when you had intercourse with that person, you start gagging. It just makes you gag and go into a bathroom and just regret every single moment with that person. If you've ever been there, hit a like, because I have. And I'm sure, in my time when I did my cup of tea, because it's my share, I don't talk to people without doing these first. And that's the reason of experience, hypnotherapists and NLP coaches, because you've been there, you've done all this. I've been also a pickup artist. It's not nothing I'm proud of. I'm not proud of that. I don't think I need to be. That's why I made a course called Flip the Script for women, so that they understand wolves coming into the door, and then in sheep clothing, and then making sure that they don't get caught that way. Why? Because I got freaking daughters, and I've heard my daughters crying, and it ain't nothing big. I've heard my sisters cry. I've heard my little nieces cry. I've heard, my friends' sisters crying. It's not a joke. I've heard my own mother going through a situation like that at one point, at points of her life. And it's not cool. It's not dandy. When you're in the party scene, everything, you don't give a shit. But once you start waking up and the universe starts making you realize, hey, knock, knock, dude. You might look good, but you're still empty inside. You shit. Then you start realizing that's not what you're aim to claim. My thing here is there's dignity. There's dignity. I understand if there's a fight and it's between two people and then one leaves and comes back or whatever, give yourself cooling times. But when you're already bringing in multiple partners or another partner into the relationship, it's no longer considered a relationship, because a relationship is with one. Then you're talking about you're dating, you're back in your dating scene. So why take that person, that man, serious? You understand? Why take him serious? You have to put him back where you found him or her. If that's what they're looking at and they're living that life still while you're there with you, then you have to put them where you found him or her. And go about your business and mind your business, because there's 3 things that happen in Ship Villa, which I said I'm going to write a book on. 3 things. Either you're going to catch a disease for not using your dignity from this person. Here's my second thing. Either the person that she's with is going to key your car, fuck your shit up, fuck your life up. Now you got a cycle behind you. And the final destiny of one is that that person, since you don't have no self-respect for yourself, will slap you or treat you or talk to you like you don't exist, even if you're paying the fucking rent. Do you understand that? Everything about them will bother you, like you gotta leave. So unless you're wise enough, and I just gave you three huge flags that if you don't think about what I'm saying right now, you will remember this. I'm going to put this in my YouTube. I'm going to have a link to it. If you don't think and you don't wake up today and you don't take action because, I'm going to leave him tomorrow. I am going to leave him today. And the other the parent of the person that's hurting you is even telling you, hey, you got to stop that shit then. And it's trying to talk to him because he can't even handle seeing the abuse in itself and know that that's his own child. Hold on. Are you awake yet? Time is ticking. Time is ticking. Time is ticking. You want to be like this for another 6 months, 8 months, 9 months? If it hasn't changed in how long? You've been dating this person for more than 3 months or 2 months and the time is ticking, guess what? It's not going to change. It's not going to change. I don't give a shit if you bring the Pope. I don't give a shit if you bring Mother Teresa out of the grave. It will not change because it does not want to change. Because that's not a human being. A human being cares about who they're hurting. I call it an it because it has no identity. Somebody that has true identity, knows themselves, loves themselves, will not put anybody through that, especially a parent to seeing that type of behavior. It will not. Doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense. If it does, please write it down and see if it makes sense. Man hurts me, treats me like shit, and I'm doing everything I can for, and he's still disrespectful with another woman or another one and another one. The same thing. Woman is disrespectful and does whatever she wants on a sneak tip or whatever and has another multiple person. Now you're not taking the whooping of one thing. You're taking a whooping of another and another. Again. So what to do? Take action. I don't understand. Even if there's kids also in the house, what are you demonstrating to the kids? That mom has no dignity? Is that what you want to demonstrate to the kids? That dad has no dignity? That you're so desperate that God cannot send you a better looking one or a person that'll treat you like gold and it has everything? You don't think that you could get that? You don't think that God has it like that for you? That's the point that I'm driving. You have to make sure that you are worth something. You're worth something. You can't let other people control what you're doing. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. If you open up your home to them, you open up your family to them, you open up your kids to them, you're opening up things for them. I don't understand. And the parent, you're seeing the parent talking to you and telling you, my son is not good for you, or hey, my daughter's not really good for you. Then what are you doing? What are you really doing? You think the problem here is when a woman thinks that she could change a man when he's being disturbing. The problem over here is when a man thinks he could change a woman when she's disturbed. You can't. They don't want that. They just want to come in and out and expect that they're living in their own fantasy. The biggest case in the world are, narcissists. You have people Imagine that we walked around with, I have PTSD, I have ADHD, I am a recovering addict, I am, you know, with a tag. How would you think dating would be? Don't you think that would be easy? Would you date as much? Yeah. You'll probably look for the sex addicts. And with suicidal thoughts on the other side. Yeah, put them together. Just in case you didn't know. You're not doing your homework. You're not reading on relationship. The last cast that I had, live that I had, I said, in order to have a great relationship, you have to love and you have to study. And I told you, if the person's living like they're single, they cannot be in your home. They cannot be in your life because that's not what you're looking for. So why do you continue getting it? And the why is very simple. You don't give enough dignity, and you don't think that you're beautiful enough. You don't think you're enough, and you don't think that God's going to send you the correct man in your life. And you don't think that there's too many men out there. So you're limiting belief that there's not a man out there that God could send you without you swiping on people. Here's my thing on these things that these apps to get a man. If you look at relationships that lasted 40, 50, 70, even 60 years of each other, there was no app there. There was no app there. You're looking at a relationship now like you're looking for a job. You're not looking for a relationship. You want a job. That's why you're having a hard time in your job and a hard time in your relationship, because that's what it is. You're having a bad moment on these applications. Oh, look, he makes $60,000 a year. Yeah. The headaches that are going to come when you was at 60, right? You're not thinking, oh, look, he has green eyes. Oh, look, you're cooking the perfect baby, but you're cooking also the perfect relationship. And there's no such thing as a fucking perfect relationship. When a plumber goes to work, he's got to look at the issue, but he's looking at the patterns because he already has the experience and the know-how and the school. Now, when we're coming down to relationship, there's patterns. There's patterns. The person is the summertime, and the person every summer needs to go to one place, and they have to do this, and you're not looking at those patterns. If they're fucking hurting your relationship, then what do I have to do? What do I have to do? Because it's hurting my relationship. My man or my girl is nice and relaxed, and she wants to do things with me, and she wants to make it even better. So how can we, if you're not even getting the we in your relationship, and you're gonna, but I need my space, I need to go, then that's the moment when your relationship goes south. Would you like to, would you like to do things together? Find things in common. Finding things in common. I said this already in my last live. When this man called me up 2 hours trying to convince me that it was witchcraft, that why his son was doing this and that, and as a relationship coach, I'm gonna see. No, it's not a rug; it's a tapestry. What's up, baby? I'm gonna see that this man wanted me to consult him for 2 hours and understand that there's no such thing as there's spiritual voodoo, so like that my son could start doing the right thing with these women or whatever. No, he's got to take the chain off of these women, because he made it into a job. He's punching in and out of every single house. And if he's hurting these women, and if he's doing what he's doing with these women, is because these women are letting him do it. Because no woman that has good dignity, he can't do that with my sister. He can't do that with one of my daughters, because I know the first thing that they'll do is try to crack them in half or something, or call the police or something. It's the dignity that these women have, and their dignities have to be raised, and that's them. They have to do that. They have to take the manners into their own hand. It's not fair. Like I was telling him, I said, it's not fair, but some of those women follow my relationship coaching lives. So if you're listening out there, and this is why I'm doing it, take action. And not big either. You don't have to take a big action, but assess your relationship. Assess it. Assess it like you assess your job. Assess it with like what you're doing right now if you have children. If you see your kid that's behaving bad, are you going to continue making it easy for them? If you see your man is trying to act like he's single, are you going to continue? That's up to you. No relationship will ever work when a woman starts acting like she's single. No man like that. So the same thing goes for this type of a situation with the man. Knowing that that's not going to work. If the woman wants a relationship and wants that type of joining and union, and it's codependent, and then they found each other. And then once they find each other, then they work from there. Hey, listen, babe, I'm going to go, today I'm going to go with my 4 girlfriends or 3 girlfriends. And I'm going to do my thing. That's the type of relationship I'm going to be at somewhere. And so that person's making you feel comfortable knowing that that's what they're doing. And you have to be comfortable enough and honorable enough to understand that your relationships have some kind of balance and some honor. But once you start seeing that the relationship is already south, already 3-6 months. Again, here's my watch. How long are you going to take to make that decision of cut it out? Decision in Latin doesn't mean to put one foot in the other and then think about maybe this is what I'm going to do. Decision in Latin means to cut off. I've made my decision. That means I am going to go either north or south. Doesn't mean I live in both. There's no central. There's no central. There's either right or left. By a couple of inches, we know. But you have to make that decision. If it's hurting you and people calling me, so like that, I know that this is what's happening with a person that I know myself, that I know that stories go back and forth, and the only thing that I could do is give that formal advice. If it could happen for a woman and it happens to men, people that live in a situation that I'm sick and tired of saying, shit villa, that I'm going to write the book, then listen, if you're choosing this person, then you're living your own shit villa. In other words, the 3 things that majorly will happen: you will get a disease, because everything is transmitted, if you don't think about that. And then that you can't even probably get out of. It's going to cost you a lot of money, probably a lot of medicine, and make you even sicker than what you were. Here's the second thing. You're going to gain yourself an audience of psychos. If there's 2 other women, one of them is going to car key you. One of them is going to run, because now they're playing for keeps, because these women don't have dignity either. And if they're men, they become stalkers to the women after they give them the disease too. And stalking, and now they might hurt your man, and it's because you want to live the little single life. And if it's for men, these women will see you at a club, will bump with you at a ShopRite or Walmart or Target and try to pull your weave off, or try to pull your hair, or start some shit with you even when you have your child. So if you're looking for that type of danger, then keep keeping that person that you think that you're in love with. And number 3, which is my favorite, that person says, you got no dignity, no respect for yourself, will talk to you like you're shit. Will talk to your children like shit, like they're shit. Will actually disrespect your shit. Okay? And will always start finding faults in you. You're too ugly. I don't know. Whatever. Just a moment to get you a rise so you could throw them the fuck out so they could go with whoever they want. and then come back when they get thrown out over there from the other person. If you don't notice these patterns, please, it's because you're turning your face and you don't want to see the reality or the truth. And that those are real. Sit the fuck down. Assess what you're doing. Assess it. Because once you assess the relationship, you will figure this out. If you see those 3 things that I just said, back and forth, if you see them, if you feel them, if you know that they're going on in your relationship, it's red flags. And if these red flags are going. Men, when they don't want to deal with a woman, they start finding faults, just the same way as women. Women start getting tired. They start nitpicking. From a hair out of your nose, from this out of your nose, a smell that you have, something that they used to not give a shit before, your teeth, something. They stop nitpicking because they're tired of you. That's it. Boom. A man in general, he'll say, I'm just so tired of you, and start talking down and down to you to the point that you have to leave, or you're going to have to kick him out so like that they could go and deal with the other girl, to be alone. They don't want to deal with your shit no more. They'll find you repulsive. And the same goes vice versa. The woman starts just finding the other guy because she wants time with the other. Remember this, men fall in love by actual contact. They have to have contact with the woman. They have to actually have sex. A woman falls in love, here's the secret for the men, without contact. They fall in love here. They fall in love through a text. They fall in love through Facebook. They fall in love through Instagram. Boom, they fall in love. Alright? Because their imagination is bigger than the man. Words, they fall in love through the phone. Figure out, guys, every time that you were talking, how many hours did it take to talk to the girl before you... It took you a little bit longer all the time. You understand? How many months or how many weeks did it take you to just talk? For the woman, it's like that. For a man, as quick as she jumped on you, that's it. You fell in love. She jumped on you. Unless you're very wise and very smart, you start figuring out, she jumping too fast. It's not the one for me. And as she starts jumping too fast, you start jumping backwards a little bit more and seeing, wait a minute. She jumped fast on me, she could jump fast on anybody. Smart man realize until you see her jumping and then staying there, jumping and then staying there, then you start figuring out that this is the way that you should apply yourself. I don't know what else to say, but educate yourself when it comes down to relationships. Educate yourself. We're great at physical things because we study it. We read about it, we pump, we practice it, actual practice, and then we become great at it 4 or 5 years down the line. The same thing with a relationship. I tell you, do it. When it comes down to that and money, do it. It's going to be your biggest fucking challenges. Anybody could outbeat another person on the floor, or there's the day that comes in that one's getting knocked out and the other one doesn't. There's good and bad, but relationships are toss-ups. Your greater chance of having a toss-up is understanding how people think and how to profile your people or your woman and your man, and understand that these flags, as soon as they come up, address them. Don't put them underneath the rug, because what's going to happen is it's going to create a big pressure pot. And when the pressure pot goes out, usually the person that's been holding on for so long does not give a shit if the relationship is on, off, in, out. That's it, you're out. Because that person will start getting their dignity back. And I hope I'm addressing today to save a relationship. I'm addressing today so people stop abusing in the relationship, and start respecting, man. Respect, especially men. I'm telling you, this is not what you see in the movies. It's not funny when you got, a disease, or it's not funny when, you wake up in the morning and your car is all keyed up. It's not funny when you wake up in the morning and you don't have no tires. It's not funny in the morning when you go into the club and you're with your girl, and then also some guy comes out of nowhere, disrespects you and everybody else in the club because you were trying to be, mag daddy by having more than one girl. And then the girl that you love the most is the one that you fucking hurted. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And that, to me, is my own opinion, but you really don't look like a man at that point. That's a low life technique. You understand? That's a very low life technique. Because if you have a mom, you wouldn't want your dad to take her out for dinner, and then while she comes back with fucking tears and her wig out of her head. I mean, it's a funny situation at that moment, but you're like, what the fuck happened? And who hurt my mom? You're going to ask. And you're going to look at your dad. You're going to look at him like dad the hero, or you're going to look like dad the lowest scum of the earth. It's what you're going to reap is what you're going to get back. So I'm just letting you know. God bless you all. Any questions, stuff like that? DM me. I have also for relationship coaching and advice, NLP, hypnotherapy. Hit it up. I'm down to help out and make breakthroughs in people. And I hope that today somebody out there gets a breakthrough with this and this life, and start making people important in your life. The ones that really love you, the ones that said I do, the ones that see you that your ass is broke and keep on helping you, or see you that gives you the best advice. Family, it could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be the people that are trying to really help your life out, and you're sitting around acting like a victim. I hope that this honestly helps. And especially respect women, man. If you're a man, respect women, man. Even if they're not respecting themselves, give it to them. Give it to them. And it gives you a better chance all the time. The universe is always watching you, man. For those men out there, I'm telling you, stop shitting on women. Stop shitting on women. I was one of them, in my earlies until my 25, 26, 29, you start waking up. Children and all, and you start seeing your sons and daughters looking at you and looking up to you. You have either they could look down on you or they could look up to you. And that's something, if you're a father out there, if you're a boyfriend, a fiance, get your shit up, get your game up, man. Get your fucking game up. Don't say you love somebody and then your actions don't meet up your fucking quota, because that same way is going to be for your money. Then when you're working at a job that you don't fucking love and shit's going bad for you, don't look back, because it first starts with love, man. Everything is energy. Everything is goddamn energy. And the same thing goes for the women. I got daughters too. Don't say you love a man and then you want the attention of every other fucking goddamn man out there. And then when you're walking around with your man, your eyes cannot. Train yourself to be honorable and loyal. That's what you need to do. Train yourself. Because that honor and loyalty is about 500 points of energy. Each one. And that's being up there. And in order to create, you need up there. In order to not create, keep doing what you're doing and see what's going to keep on happening. God bless you all.